Now, India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and US Secretary of War Pete Hegseth on Friday exchanged an agreement on the framework for US-India major defence partnership in Kuala Lumpur. The agreements were signed during the talks between the two leaders on the sidelines of the regional ASEAN Defence Ministers meeting in Kuala Lumpur. The Defence Minister said the agreement will usher in a new era in already strong India-US defence partnership. He further added that the defence framework will provide policy direction to the entire spectrum of the India-US defence relationship.
तीन बार टेलीफोनिक वार्ता हमारी हो चुकी है और जब आपसे एडीएम के साइडलाइंस पर व्यक्तिगत रूप से मिलकर मुझे बेहद खुशी हुई है और इस अवसर पर डिफेंस फ्रेमवर्क की शाइनिंग मैं समझता हूँ कि उसके परिणाम स्वरूप आज एक नए अध्याय का प्रारंभ होगा। इन शब्दों के साथ मैं पुनः आपको धन्यवाद देता हूँ और मेरा पूरा विश्वास है कि आपकी लीडरशिप में भारत और यूएस के रिश्ते और अधिक मजबूत होंगे।
And to get you more on this, I'm joined by lead India correspondent Akshay Dongre. Good afternoon, Akshay. Tell us why this deal becomes significant for both the nations, with India's sharp-eyed focus on making India self-reliant in defence sector as well.
Well, Deepika, the framework as far as the defence framework between the two countries is concerned is quite a feat as far as the cooperation between the two defence sectors are concerned, not just the state-owned ones but also the private ones, because the framework that has been signed today between our Defence Minister Mr. Rajnath Singh and the Secretary of Defence of US Mr. Hegseth is clearly a long-term agreement. It doesn't talk about any short-term deals as such, but it talks about interoperability, it talks about cooperation, it talks about joint military exercises and also exchanges in the technological sectors and advancements. So it's a long-term plan that has been laid today, and as far as the vision is concerned, it talks about at least a decade of cooperation between the two countries in the defense sector. And the question, coming to a question about how it becomes important for both the countries, so clearly for India, it gives us access to some of the technologies that we may need for our self-reliant push. It gives us security in terms of cooperation with the US partners. For US, the regions such as the Indo-Pacific region, the Indian Ocean region, these are the areas where the US needs cooperation from India. It needs collaboration in several aspects of defense and security, not just for the region but for the respective countries as well. And it has something for both the partners. It has sort of sectors where India can learn a lot from the US. It has areas where US can get and achieve a lot from the Indian experience of operating in these regions. So as far as the self-reliant in specific is concerned, then clearly India's defense sector is also growing leaps and bounds, and especially has grown in the last 10 years. So US sees India as a viable defense partner in which with which it can not only sell its products and sell its technology, but also joint develop the upcoming technologies such as artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and other kind of cutting edge technology that is required in defense sector and that will be required in the upcoming decade. So it's a long-term plan that has been laid today, and it remains to be seen that how effectively that will be implemented by both the countries, but it's a good news for the defense sector of both US and India.
Indeed. Akshay, also last year, India and the US signed an agreement to ensure mutual supply of defense goods, and this year, taking a step ahead, both signed the 10-year pact. Tell us, how is it going to strengthen India's presence on the global map when we talk about diplomacy?
Well, we have a quite significant footprint there on global map as it is when it comes to defense sector. India is one of those only countries that has the technology to not only develop a highly sophisticated fighter aircraft, the Tejas and Tejas Mark 1, AMCA is in the making, the advanced medium combat aircraft that is going to be a 5th generation, but also in other arenas as well. In land, we have technologies to develop our own hypersonic missiles, our supersonic missiles, our ramjet engine is into production. In the oceans, we are are one of the only few countries that has the capability of manufacturing an entire aircraft carrier from the scratch. So India's footprint is already quite significant, but with the collaboration with US, it is going to go further ahead, and further, it is going to deepen our technological prowess in not only the region but on a global level. Yes, you have rightly mentioned that the last year as well a pact has been signed, this year as well. So this is what we are seeing is continuity when it comes to supplying of these cutting edge technologies, essential equipments, manufacturing capabilities, and markets as well that are willing to buy products that are co-manufactured by the two countries. So it is going to be a huge victory for both the countries if the framework is implemented in a timely manner, if it converts into reality on the ground as well, because the kind of interoperability and the kind of collaboration that is envisioned is going to take the defense sectors in both the countries to new heights.
Right. Thank you so much, Akshay, for joining us and giving us a rounded perspective on this very important development between India and the United States.